One for the X is Baton Rouge's new rock. That's music from White Zombie. It's called More Human Than Human. Good afternoon. I am the Fish, and as promised, we are joined in the One for the X studio by two members of the band that are playing tonight at the Varsity Theater, the sold-out show. We have the Bravery in the studio. Guys, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Let's get everybody acquainted with your voices and names. So you, sir, go first.
I'm Sam. I'm the singer.
And I'm Anthony. I play drums.
You guys enjoying Baton Rouge thus far? Or you've been in Baton Rouge for like 15 minutes?
About 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, we just pulled in. It was very nice.
I've looked at your tour days, and you guys have been playing a lot of shows. Like this is like the fourth night in a row or something?
We do 5 nights on, 1 off.
Is that difficult? Like a difficult schedule for you guys?
As a singer, it kind of sucks. Yeah, and now because like everybody's getting sick.
Yeah, the flu's going around, so even the opening bands, everyone just...
Yeah.
And once it gets on that bus, I hear it's like very difficult to get off because it starts spreading from person to person.
There's 12 people on our frickin' bus right now.
Have you gotten infected yourself yet with this flu bug?
Oh yeah. I almost passed out on stage a couple shows ago.
Is it done though? It's gone?
Basically, you have to just force yourself to not drink for like 2 days in a row, and then you'd be all right.
Now, when you're like on a normal string of tour days, do you guys like drink and party every night?
I would say there's somebody drinking and partying every night, but we'd sort of take turns, you know what I'm saying?
And as a singer, I would imagine you have to kind of especially take extra precautionary measures.
Yeah, like when we first started out, like our first album, that used to stress me out all the time. Like I'd be worried about that. And then you kind of get used to it. You get better at it, you know, as time goes on. So, like, the better you get at singing, the more you can party and not worry about it. Cool. It's actually worse for you.
Well, life, other than the sickness, life must be pretty good for you guys because you were just, your show is sold out tonight. I had a friend of mine that went to your show in Austin the other night, which was another sold out show, and I hear that the show in Atlanta is sold out tomorrow night, so just a string of sold out shows. Has the tour been like this the whole time, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a great tour, a lot of fun, great crowds, and the bands on tour with us are great. So the Switches and Your Vegas.
And tonight we also have the special Dax Riggs added to it. Dax Riggs from Louisiana. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not. He's got kind of a cult following nationwide and actually across the world, but he's doing a solo thing tonight. He had a band called Dead Boy and the Elephant Man. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And your video for Believe just premiered a few days ago. I saw that. Pretty cool.
Right on.
And last week you guys were all over MTV. Let's talk about that for a second. What in the world was that? The Artist of the Week thing with the Bravery.
Yeah, every week MTV does, they focus on one artist and just do all these little spots, these little like blurbs, and so we were like, if we're gonna do it, let's not just like film a live show, let's do all kinds of weird stuff that people wouldn't normally see. Yeah. So we played a lot of acoustic stuff. We would do just weird like jamming stuff, like there's like a ukulele like gypsy jazz thing that like the other two guys did, and there's just a lot of random stuff. So we had a lot of fun with it. It came out really cool.
Did you guys have a lot of input as far as what aired and what you put together for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as far as when it was us, playing, we could control that. Yeah. And so we did a lot of interesting stuff that you wouldn't normally see, or like that you wouldn't see if you could go. Yeah. And then they had like they did these like skits.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
Which when they were describing it to us, I was like, this is gonna be really lame. Yeah. And then when we did it, it was great. They like nailed it.
Yeah, and you guys were like basically like if you turned on MTV last week, every single break there was like something going in and coming out. So it must have been great exposure for the band. Mm-hmm. So how'd you get hooked up with that? They came to you?
Yeah, I think they contacted us about it, and our label was like, "Would you be into doing this?" And we were like,
it's
"Totally."
52, so it's 52 bands, 52 weeks in the year. So, however it works, they interview you and see if you got like personality, if you'd be fun to work with, and we went in. Their offices are in New York, and we just had a good time. We were there for like a half an hour, and kicked around some ideas, and then sure enough, we got it.
Yeah, that's right. They interview you, and like if you're boring, then I guess you're out. Yeah.
You were on Cribs, weren't you, Anthony?
I was.
What's up with that?
I guess they came to the band, and the band was like, "Oh man, you live with your parents. You got to do it." Yeah. So I was kind of I couldn't get out of it, but it was fun, man. I had to take one for the team.
It looked like a good time, man. It looked like and it must be nice to say that you were featured on MTV Cribs as well.
Yeah, it was cool. I was sandwiched between Rick Ross and a Mavericks player.
Yeah.
I didn't see the actual show. I saw the clips that were on your website. And they have the baby pictures and stuff like that?
Yeah. That's how it goes down.
That's what it's all about with Cribs.
What was funny was like mine was the anti-Cribs. It wasn't the the blinged out. I don't have the rides and stuff.
Your brother was like playing video games in the room?
Yeah, online. That didn't make the actual episode.
Okay, yeah, I saw that the clip that was on thebravery.com.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And your latest CD, The Sun and the Moon, you guys actually recorded down south in Atlanta, Georgia, with producer Brendan O'Brien. And your first CD you guys produced yourself, so what led you to actually choose a producer for the second CD, The Sun and the Moon?
Well, we had to make a decision, like, do we want to do it exactly the same, how we did the first one, or are we going to try new things? And originally, we wanted to do both and, release two different versions of the same album. All the same songs, but, recorded in two completely different ways. And that's what we've done now, and we're actually releasing the second half of it in like a month. Like
on March 18th, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like the moon side of The Sun and the Moon. But the initial album, we wanted to, play with new sounds, like, all the stuff we hadn't done before, like acoustic instruments and a lot of strings, and we all would sing together in harmony. There's a lot of vocal things. And so Brendan O'Brien is just like a guy that we've always admired. He's, one of the great American producers, and so he was into it. So we just moved to Atlanta and did it with him.
How'd you like living in the dirty South?
It was great. It was like crunk ground zero, there in Buckhead. And it was great, man. It was nice, a lot of good barbecue and good weather.
I actually saw you guys. I'm sure you don't remember me, but I saw you guys playing in Atlanta for a festival back in June, and there was a barbecue back there, and I saw you guys back there hanging out. Oddly enough. But what was it like working with a producer for the second album?
It was real different, I produced the first one and this new one that we did, and it was like it helped in a lot of ways, like just having someone outside the band, like if you're in a band, right, and someone says to you, sound like crap on this song, or like this part you're playing is stupid, or this song sucks that you wrote, then you're kind of like, screw you, man, you know. But if it's someone outside the band, then they're not biased. It's not their ego that's attached to it, so you're more likely to listen to what they say. And so it's like having an editor.
Especially when it's a guy like Brendan O'Brien who's worked with like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Incubus, Rage Against the Machine, and all those bands like that. So I hear he's a very musical guy as well.
Absolutely, he's just crazy talent. Like perfect pitch and can play every instrument, and just had so much experience.
And you said you're going to be releasing the expanded edition of The Sun and the Moon, which will have a CD called The Moon, which will be, what are the differences in The Moon as compared to the CD that came out last year, The Sun and the Moon?
It's very different. It's all the same songs, like the same 11 songs, but recorded in a totally different way. It's darker. It's more electronic. It is more like the first record. There's more dance beats, that kind of thing. It's more raw. Like it's not. There wasn't a producer involved. It's kind of recorded, in the back of a bus or like in the basement.
You guys play that stuff live, like when we see any Moon versions of the songs tonight?
Yeah, we've started to bring in some of those.
And I noticed that you're going to be releasing some of those songs on iTunes as well over the next few weeks.
That's right. So we're leading up to the release of the album. We're like doing a song a week for like 4 weeks.
Do you guys like personally get involved in the marketing of the album and the plans like that as far as releasing things like that in advance and the video plans and things like that, or do you leave that up to the record label and the business managers and people like that?
Well, my take is I hate all that stuff. Like it's not interesting to me, the marketing of it at all. I just want to make the music and play it, But on the other hand, it's my life. It's like our lives, and it's our band, and you can't just let someone do whatever they want with you, so you kind of have to be involved in it. So I don't enjoy it, but
it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, exactly, because if you don't do it, then some guys can do it, and he might be a psychopath.
And you guys have toured with like some big name people like Depeche Mode and Incubus, and you played shows with U2. Have you had a chance to talk to any of those guys who've had like really long careers and get advice from them as far as to what you could do to sustain your longevity?
Yeah, we had a chance with those guys, and the advice usually is stay off drugs.
Really? That should always be the number one advice, but a lot of bands, don't take that advice.
Yeah, it's hard.
But do people like Bono, when you played with U2 in Dublin, did you get a chance to actually sit down with Bono and U2 and the guys?
Yeah, U2 was one of my favorite bands when I was a kid, and so that was a really cool experience, and we opened for them in Dublin, Ireland, which is their hometown. 100,000 people at, the stadium. And we met with them before we went on. And, we met Bono and The Edge. And they were super cool, like really friendly, kind of like stonery.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of people say that about Bono. He's like really mellow.
Well, it's funny, I guess we met Bono and The Edge in the catering for lunch, and we were talking.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, we talked for a little bit. Then we went on, and I guess Bono saw our set, but we didn't get to see him, you know, before their set and then after.
Yeah.
But so we get back to our little dressing room, and there's like a letter slipped under the door from Bono, like, "Great job, guys. Seems like you got all your ducks in a row." And there was like this, he drew this bottle of like a champagne bottle with a glass.
Nice.
And it was just, it's kind of bizarre. It's like, whoa, Bono just slipped a letter under our door, like thanking us.
Is that letter framed in the tour bus right now?
Yep.
We have it.
It's framed in our manager's office.
That's very cool. And you guys have also played with the Smashing Pumpkins last year. Did you get a chance to like see Billy Corgan?
That's not really the vibe with them. They don't really hang out that
That's
much.
what I hear. That's what I hear about them.
There's new guys in the band.
Yeah.
You know, 3 new people, and they were really cool, and we would hang out with them.
And Incubus, you last year as well?
Yes, and those guys are the friendliest. Like,
They seem like it. I've met them a couple
great,
times. Yeah.
Great guys, and we hang out with them fairly often.
Well, we're looking forward to this big show tonight. This is your very first time in Baton Rouge. You've
That's
played
right.
in New Orleans before. Have you had a chance to sample some of the Louisiana cuisine before?
The only time we've played is in Louisiana before is Voodoo Fest.
Yeah.
And we got some po' boys.
You need to try some gumbo, man. You try
Yeah,
some
I know,
alligator
I
get
know.
adventurous tonight.
I know we haven't had much experience, but tonight's the night.
And let's talk about the immediate plans for the Bravery. As we mentioned, your The Complete Sun and the Moon is going to be out in stores on March the 18th. You guys going to be on tour in support of this for the rest of the year?
Not sure yet. We were going to be on tour for a while, touring the States, and then we got a little time off. And then after that, it's unclear. We might go to the UK. We may tour the US in like a different way. We're not sure yet.
What do you guys do when you have time off? Do you just kind of chill out at the house? You work on new music, or what do you do?
Yeah, we don't really have that much time off. It's like if we're not on tour, usually working on something else. You know, I try to stay busy. So be recording new things, or, you know, like I just directed our last video that we did, and, you know, just things like that.
I understand you're a film buff too, Sam.
Yeah, that's right.
So do you ever have any aspirations to be with, we just played White Zombie, you ever have any plans to do a Rob Zombie and direct some feature films?
Yeah, someday.
Yeah.
I've been more and more involved in the videos we've been doing, and I, like I said, I directed the Believe one
Believe
we just
video.
did, and that's the first one that I've actually directed. But I write a lot, you know, like screenplays, scripts, and so I want to do more of that in the future.
That's very cool. What about you, Anthony? You got any hobbies out there?
No, I mean, I've been getting into, like, you know, demoing my own stuff and learning how to use, you know, like Digital Performer, GarageBand.
Yeah.
Kind of learned on tour, you know. You have a lot of downtime. So, you know, it's good to get your ideas out and try different instruments, I think. That's basically been my hobby for the last couple of years.
Well, that's very cool. And Sam, you jumped on there for the, like you mentioned, you produced the first Bravery CD. How did you learn all the production aspect of it? Just doing it?
Yeah, just kind of doing it. Since I was a little kid, I've always been really into music, and you know how, you know, more about like how the music is created. You know, like people that always listen to the lyrics of the singer. I was the guy that always listened to, you know, the instruments and like how everything sounded, how they got the sounds. You know, that was always my thing. And at a certain point, I got into. You know, I guess I got a computer and started messing with the software. And then when I moved to New York, I'd listen to these electronic dance bands that were coming out of New York, like, you know, the DFA production team and like the Rapture, Chick Chick Chick, La Tigra, stuff like that. I realized that you could make really cool sounding stuff incredibly cheaply, you know, just using your laptop or whatever. And so I got Digital Performer. I don't even think I paid for it. I probably burned it off a friend or something.
Stole it online.
Yeah, and then just started making music like that.
That's very cool. And I would imagine you would have advice for younger bands out there to do it yourself.
I would say, learn that stuff, and whether you're an electronic band or not, you can use it to record your band. Just do it yourself.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the Bravery playing tonight at the Varsity Theater. It is a sold-out show. People are going crazy trying to get tickets this afternoon. We're going to play a song from your latest CD, The Sun and the Moon. Now, you mentioned that before you were concentrated on music and things like that, but I noticed for your latest CD, The Sun and the Moon, there was a big emphasis as lyrics go. I think you put a lot of like personal things into the lyrics. You had a lot of, I don't want to say depressing, because there's like depressing stuff, and then there's almost kind of like spiritual stuff on there. Was there a conscious effort to like put more focus onto the lyrics for the second CD?
Yeah, like I was saying before, I was always, the thing that I listened to is the music. And so for lyrics, I became a singer in this band. I'd never been a singer before. I wasn't really used to it. And so I'm always trying to get better at that, like writing lyrics. And so for me, it's just a process of being more honest. Like, trying to get, you know, the ideas or the feelings that you have inside, get that out on paper. So I think I've just been getting better at that over time.
Any ideas? I know it's early in the process. Any ideas on what direction you guys are going to go for the third CD?
I think just starting to think about that now. It's definitely going to rock. Other than that, no, I don't know.
Just very early in the process. We're going to play Time Won't Let Me Go from your CD, The Sun and Moon. Thank you guys for stopping by the 104DX studio, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys play the sold-out show. Hopefully you'll come back in Baton Rouge and play for the people that couldn't get tickets the first time around.
Right on.
Hopefully we'll see you guys again. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Anthony, from the